friends, it's Amanda here, and today is going to be a bit of a different video, hopefully a fun one. I'm guessing that at some point in your time online, you have seen a video like this with someone applying all or at least the majority of their face makeup at one time and then just blending it until it's finished. This type of video has been around for many, many years. There are probably thousands and thousands of examples of what I'm talking about here. Some more intricate and over the top and mind-boggling than others. I really appreciate the skill of making a video like this. I never really took it very seriously as an actual way forward in an everyday makeup application. To me, it always just seemed like something that was more for social media to make a video about and not necessarily a very practical method of makeup application. But you know what? I could be wrong about that. And today I'm going to sort of test that theory. I'm not going to be doing anything as impressive and crazy, intricate, over the top as these videos, which I do think probably are. I don't want it to sound like I'm insulting this because I think that these types of videos are really impressive, but I do think that it's not really meant to be a practical everyday type of application. I think it's meant to be a cool video, which it is. I'm going to do a more practical version of this idea. I want to see if it's even feasible for me because I love something to be easy. I am a lazy girl makeup lover for life. And if today we discover that I could cut out several steps and several minutes of my makeup routine, I would happily do that. So what I want to do today is apply just my face makeup as I normally would to half of my face. Then on the other half of my face, I'm going to take the exact same products, apply everything all at once, and then just blend it and see how similar or different the two sides are. This isn't exactly, clinical research level scientific testing, but it should be pretty fun. So let's zoom in and start applying some makeup and see what happens. Fingers crossed that this turns out good because I do have other things that I want to film today, so hopefully both sides look the same. Wish me luck! I may not be completely custom making my base from pigments like that Makeup Academy post that I showed a little screenshot of in my intro, but I am going to step it up just a little bit here and customize my foundation shade by mixing these two ColourPop Pretty Fresh tinted foundation balms. I'm using Fair 4 and Light 6. But as usual, I will list all of the shades I use for everything down in the description box for your reference. Since this is my control side in this experiment, I'm going to apply my layers one at a time and blend each one before moving on to the next product. This is my typical approach, and I'm guessing that this is what most of us do for regular makeup application day to day. Another control measure that I'm taking for this little pseudo experiment is I'm not using any new products. Everything I'm putting on my face today are formulas that I'm really familiar with and things that I am really 100% sure that work for me. That way we know the main variable is this applying and blending portion of the application. I did decide to use a stippling brush for blending out my cream blush, and I decided to use the little fingertip tapping method for my liquid highlighter. I guess technically that is a variable too, but that is true to how I would normally apply my makeup, and I think that's the real test. We're trying to see if we can get this blending everything all at once method to yield the exact same result as my usual makeup application method. That's what I'm really trying to find out. So I'm not being too strict about how many variables I have in this little experiment. Plus, this is just for fun, and honestly, I just saw one of these videos pop up on TikTok this morning that I filmed this video, and that's what inspired me to try this out. So, we could always give it a second shot if we need. Okay, my regular application side is done. I think it looks great. I did use my stippling brush and just a little fingertip blending because I didn't want to get blush and highlighter all over the sponge ahead of my blending. I don't know if that made sense. So I'm just doing my best to try to give this the best possible shot. So if these two sides end up matching, I will be thrilled because I think this is lovely. I'd be happy to wear this. So hopefully I can remember how much product I used and try to recreate the same amount of application on this side. Doing my best. Basically, I just tried my best to replicate the placement and the amount on the other half of my face. It was very difficult to keep applying without blending in between. It just felt really unnatural. So I definitely struggled with that feeling a little bit while I was applying and layering all these things on. It was making me cringe a little bit to put the concealer on top of the foundation, just knowing that foundation was going to transfer onto the concealer wand. Even more so with the blush, I knew I was going to get foundation all over my blush bar. So it felt a little strange. I won't lie to you. It felt a little uncomfortable. Okay, before I blend it, this is what I did. I hope this blush doesn't go everywhere all over my face. I'm going to try to do that part last, strategically. All right. Here goes nothing. Wish me luck. As soon as I started blending, I immediately noticed some pros and cons. On a positive note, this is super fast. More so for the base products, I can see doing my foundation and concealer at once as a very feasible time saver. To me, the finish and the coverage for the base looks the same on both sides. So I think that is the big win and the big takeaway from this little experiment so far. I also think it was kind of fun in that it felt a little crazy. I felt like I was doing something against the rules, a little bit mischievous, but in an incredibly low stakes way. The main drawback from this whole thing is that my face colors really seemed to disappear. Maybe my blush and highlighter would have stayed intact better if I had used a brush to blend everything instead of using the damp sponge. That's just some food for thought if I want to try this again, or maybe try to adapt this method a little bit so that it actually does become feasible, does become a little bit of a time saver. I am not unhappy with the result. I'm just missing the blush color. I love a blushy, glowy cheek, and I am definitely missing that with this blend it all at once method. Well, this sponge basically completely soaked up all my blush. I don't know why the blush and highlighter disappeared into this sponge and the base products didn't, because I think overall the base products worked fine with this method. It's just the cheek colors that disappeared on me. I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't think there's an exact science for this type of thing, but the two sides definitely do not look the same for me. Maybe I should try it again sometime with a different cheek color. But this is blushed and glowy, and this is not. So I'm going to fix the two sides. I've never blended this dewy bar with a sponge before. I usually just use the stippling brush or maybe my fingertips, but I don't think that's necessarily a flaw of the application method as much as the application tool. But it just goes to show that this method is not necessarily the be-all end-all for me, but I would try it again, especially with the complexion products. I do feel like just swiping on all of my foundation and concealer at the same time worked just as well. I don't know if we can call it a case closed on this application method, but it was definitely an interesting experience. And I do think I'm going to try applying foundation and concealer at the same time and blending it all together. I actually liked how easy it was and how seamless it all came out for the base products. Probably not something I'm going to quickly revisit for cheek colors. Maybe I would try it with foundation, concealer, and like a contour or a cream bronzer or something to add a little bit of structure into the base makeup. That could be a way forward. But I love having a casually sweaty, blushy, glowy cheek way too much to leave it up to fate. I will take the extra couple of seconds to apply those separately personally. But I would love to hear, what do you think about this? Have you seen these videos around? Have you ever tried it? Have you had much more, maybe much less success than me? I'm always curious about your experiences, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Oh, I should have brought some water over here. I can already tell my throat just feels dry today. Having some weird weather out there. Necesito agua, I'll BRB. Much better. Okay, let's see how crazy this looks. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh, this feels so weird to not be blending it. Ugh, the cognitive dissonance. Ma'am, Maggie was having. Are you okay? Maggie must have been having a bad dream, and her dog bed is over in the corner in my office, and she was like kicking the wall, like scrambling, kicking the wall. It was storming here yesterday, so she's a little skittish. She's fine. Don't worry, she's fine. Was this a weird whim that I just thought of and decided to sit down and film just now? Yep. That's just sort of how I roll. I thought it was fun. Maybe we're not breaking any new ground here, but you know, why not? I'm always open to try something a little different. It's spring and I'm wearing a Hocus Pocus shirt because of who I am as a person. Whew. All right. Gotta go put on some eyeshadow and then I'm gonna make some lunch. I think I'm gonna make a chicken quesadilla. I have some leftover chicken from dinner, and I think that a chicken quesadilla for lunch sounds delightful. Maybe I'll dip it in a little guacamole. You never know. You never know. I don't know. Okay, Jim Carrey, calm down. Thanks for watching. I'm happy you're here. I hope that you have a good day. And if you don't have a good day, you know what? That's not your fault. It happens to everybody. It's totally normal. It's gonna be better eventually. But until then, we're here for you. We love your face. You are a special little treasure. And I love your face. Okay, bye.